Hello and welcome to lesson video number 2. We're going to be talking about the good old-fashioned C major scale. So, let me hop over here to some terms we got going on. So C major scale is our starting point for all kind of major scales and really just theory and harmony in general. There's a couple other ways of breaking stuff down, but this is the most common way of sort of approaching music and organizing it. So a C major scale is going to be all of the white keys from notes C to C on a piano and keyboard. You're going to half steps are going to magically line up in the correct places. So it's a 7-note scale. In our guitar lesson videos so far, we've taken a look at a pentatonic scale, which is a 5-note scale. So that's eliminated a couple notes, made that scale a little bit more simple. That makes it a little easier and more accessible, especially when you're first getting started. So C major scale has got 2 more notes in it. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be keeping track of intervals. So intervals are just the distance between 2 different notes. Think of it as just a measurement size, like an inch versus a yard versus a mile. You know, all of those different things or measurements are just used to measure different distances that you're traveling. Obviously, if you're driving from Pennsylvania to Kentucky, you're not going to want to use yards or inches to figure out how far it is you're going. You're going to use miles because you need a bigger, something bigger to kind of measure that more effectively. Same kind of thing here in music. We're going to be taking a look at the 2 smallest intervals that we have on the guitar, which is going to be a half step, or really Western music in general. It's not just the guitar. It could be tuba or whatever. So we got a half step and we got whole step. So a half step on your guitar is anytime you move just 1 fret. So that could be open to 1st fret or anything that lives right next door to each other. 3rd fret to 4th fret, 10th to 11th fret. So our naturally occurring half steps are going to be between the notes E and F and B and C. So in other words, that's the spot where you move just 1 fret on your guitar. Or on the piano, it's where the notes live right next door to each other. There is no black key in the middle. A whole step is going to be 2 frets on the guitar. And that's going to be between all the other notes in our musical alphabet. So our musical alphabet is the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So A to B, there's a whole step. B to C, there's a half step. C to D is a whole. D to E is a whole. E to F is the other point, that's a half step. F to G is a whole. And then G to A is a whole. And then we're back around to where I started. So that's really important. You're going to need to keep track of that because that's basically a formula that we need to put together to construct a major scale. Now, C is the starting point because you just get that major scale if you go the note C to C on a piano. And everything in theory kind of refers back to the piano, so you got to kind of keep that in mind as we're moving along. So that's our formula that we need. So the important thing here is that the half steps to construct a major scale, all major scales are built the same way, and the half steps are going to be between the 3rd and 4th notes in the scale, and then the 7 and the 8 or the 1, or you're back around to where you started. So hopping over to Guitar Pro now. What I've got is a C major scale written out in one of the most common positions or places to play it on the guitar. So you might want to pause the video, take a moment to look this over, or send me a message. I can always send you the Guitar Pro file, or I could even send you a PDF of just this sheet of music if you'd like that. That can always help you out. So the important thing is that we've got that half step between the 3 and the 4. So E and F is going to be a half step. You take a look 2nd fret to 3rd fret. They're right next door to each other. And then we're going to have the same thing over here between 7 and 8. 8 is technically 1 because it's a C note. And we got a half step, 4th fret to 5th fret. And that's going to be our C major scale. And that's the important thing to be taken away from this right now. So I'm just going to hit play, and you can hear it just kind of loop and repeat. So that's a C major scale. So we go 3rd fret, 5th fret on the 5th string, 2nd, 3rd, 5th frets on the 4th, 2nd, 4th, and 5th on the 3rd, and then the same thing just going backwards. I'll let it play one more time. Maybe it might be a good idea to try to play along with it. I'll turn the count off, so you'll have, or count in on, so you'll have 4 clicks. And So that's our scale. That's the C major scale as it sits on the guitar. So it's the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. What you want to memorize here is that we need to make a half step between the third and the fourth and the 7 and the 8 or the 1. It's the same note. We got C up here and C up here or down there. So that's why we call it, you could call it the 1 as well. Or it's technically the 8 or the octave. So that's the reason why we have that other term. When you say that you've traveled an octave, it just means that it's the same pitch sounding 8 steps higher or above. So hopefully that makes sense so far. Right now we just want to memorize what we did to build that scale. And then we're going to start building some chords, and then eventually we're going to take a look at some other keys or other major scales. And it's going to be really important, when we take a look at the fourths and the fifths and sort of circle of fourths and fifths and take a look at our kind of world map of everything that we have available to us. So again, if you'd like to have the either a PDF of this or the Guitar Pro 6 actual file, just shoot me a message through just shoot me a message through YouTube, and I'll email those to you. So thank you for watching, and take it easy.